Hello and welcome to another episode of the Complete Agent podcast, where each week we get together to talk all things estate agency. My name is David Warburton, as ever. Oh, well, I say as ever, this is the first one of the year when all three of us have actually been together, because the 100th episode was, of course, pre-recorded, and then last week it was just Ian and I. JK couldn't make last week, so good to have you back, JK. Three of us together. Lads, how has your week been? Let's go to you, JK, because Ian's distracted.
Interesting. I'm going to be completely honest, because I'm a big believer in authenticity on the podcast. The first week I was back, I really struggled. Had holiday, I shut down for holiday, and I think I'm probably guilty of maybe leaving it too long between holidays. And so I think maybe when I shut down at Christmas time, I don't know if it's the same with you guys, but you go away and it takes you a couple of days to switch off before you actually do finally sort of spin down and start to unwind. By the time at the end of the holiday, we were ready to kind of come back. But I just found it really, when I came back from holiday, I felt like I'm up for this. I'm ready to start again. But when I actually got back to work, I struggled for the first week. Got to be honest, I really did struggle. But this week, to be fair, we've not hit. The thing is, we've had a great run on instructions. We've got loads on the board at the moment. We've got pretty much every other day for the next 2 weeks. We've got a shoot. We've got new stuff that we've just put on that's getting interest. We agreed one at 6:30ish, 6:40ish this month already. We've just, hopefully last night, I've just got proof of funds in for a nice 1.75er at 2%. So, when they land, we were saying the other day, weren't we, that when they actually do come in and they land, it can make a huge difference to your month. Like having two sales at the best part of 50 odd grand, it's just a game changer, isn't it? And obviously it hurts if they fall through. And the house we've sold at 1.75 is grade 2 listed. So, let's not count our chickens. But, the guy who is buying it has got considerable property experience. He's owned grade 2, grade 1s before. So you'd like to think that, given the experience, it should be pretty good. But yeah, lots happening. Found my Mojo this week. We're got a couple of other places coming on. Some nice sort of 2%ers at 525, another one at 550. It's been pretty good. How about you, David?
Thank you for throwing it back to me, JK. Same as you. Now, obviously, I did actually do a bit of a post in the TCA group, members group, last week, talking exactly about what you have as well. And that is that, of course, we both came back a bit flat. We were both on the phone with the violins out, chatting.
Were you drinking Diet Coke?
Yeah, sorry, I'm laughing because Ian's just taking a piss out of me, basically.
That's what we do.
But I know.
Anyway, a complete piss take podcast.
I'm trying to pour my heart out here, saying how flat I was.
No one cares.
No one cares. You've just done it, JK. Jesus. Anyway, so JK and I had a conversation last week, both saying actually we'd come back and we were really struggling to get going. I think obviously you've had a nice break, a busy year, nice break, and then you're coming back and you're like, it's the realization hits you, doesn't it? It all starts again. So last week, I'm not going to lie either, it was a little bit of a struggle to get going, but my Mojo is back. Yes, like you, JK. We're flying. We've got loads of instructions coming on. And I'm just looking at the board now. Got 11 instructions booked in first week or two.
Nice. We've got 12.
Yeah, we've got 14. And we've got, I've been to some really good valuations as well. We've booked quite a few valuations since we've come back as well. And we're a little bit behind on the nom lads. I must admit, I wanted them out first week. It's going to be this week that they're going out. So they've started going out, which is good. So I anticipate that towards the end of the month and going into February, we will be even further on. So very, very busy. I have got a couple of staffing issues. One that I've shared with you, but the other one is I've got Kate, who's off on maternity at the moment, and Pauline is going to be off for a short while as well. So I have re-recruited, but we are going to be short for a little while. So guess what?
You're going to be busy as fuck.
I'm going to be busy as fuck. Yeah. So,
you don't have to put your accent on, Dave. You just say it normally.
Yeah, just busy. I'm going to be busy as fuck, lads.
Yeah.
So I was actually lay in bed last night looking at holidays, thinking about February half term, getting away for a week. And then, you know what? I said,
I've got no staff, but I'm looking at holidays.
I'm looking at holidays, and I turned around to my wife and I said, do you know what? I'm going to put this down. I don't think it's realistic. We'll see. So yeah, we'll have a see how that pans out. But overall, it's been a really fast start to the year, I have to say. And I've got the other thing as well. I've not mentioned. I've got loads of offers to deal with as well. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 offers to deal with. So whilst we haven't registered that much on the board just yet, I think we've only actually put through 2 sales so far this month. It'll probably come together mid to end. It's all there. It's all bubbling away. So all good. What about you, Ian?
So this is my 3rd day back in the office since before Christmas.
So are you flat? Are you flat?
So I'm really having a terrible time, lads.
Yeah.
I had 2 weeks in Thailand, and it's just I know I don't know what to say to you both. Really, I'm really no, fine. It's good. It's good. 3rd day back in, and I came back pumped actually because I love coming back home after holiday. I love going away. I love coming home probably more than I like going away, I think, because, you know...
Is that why you go away so much? Because you really enjoy coming home?
Lol. So we've had a good start to the year, really. I think 7 sales agreed so far. Phil's been banging them in earlier this week. And only sort of 2, 3 listings, but nice ones. And like you say, Dave, a few others bubbling away. And we're shooting quite a few that were instructed before Christmas. So the team are out today. They've got 2 shoots and another couple, I think, earlier in the week. So it feels good. I've got 3 viewings today on a £2 million house. They're all cash buyers. And this particular client wants another one off us at 1.75. We did nice. 2 or 3. We had 2 or 3 viewings on another one at 1.75 earlier this week. So it definitely feels like the market's there for the taking. We did actually this week have 2 properties withdraw.
Oh, really? What, from a sale or just off from the market?
From sale. No, they're changing agents. And that's quite rare for us, really. I think throughout the whole of last year, we probably had 2 or 3. We're like you, really. We don't really lose them. But when they come, they come in 2s and 3s, I find. So hopefully we've had our lot for the year. But one was a grade 2 listed, old place with land. Hard to find buyers, really. High price. And to be fair, I've kept the client for 18 months. So I've done really, really well that she hasn't changed sooner. And we had a great relationship. She felt awful about it. So we've ended on very good terms. And I said to the team, in many ways, I just, good luck.
Can we just talk about that a little bit?
I was going to say, let's unpack that with it.
Just grade 2 in general. Do you find that grade 2 isn't as resilient in this market at the moment?
So
I'm finding.
It depends. Go on.
There you go.
Well, it depends on what it is. So this particular one was like 2.5 million, grade 2 listed, very, very equestrian. So it had to be an equestrian buyer to pay that much money for it.
That wants to buy a grade 2 listed house.
Equestrian house. And the barn, which was beautiful, stable barn, was right in front of the house. So a few people viewed it and they were like, "Oh, the position of the barn's not right." And obviously, you can't knock it down and move it.
No.
And so trying to find an equestrian buyer is one thing because that's niche.
Yeah, they haven't got any money.
They haven't got any money quite often. They want something at 300 with 3 or 4 acres. You know what I mean? They haven't got a lot of money necessarily. Or the ones that have got money want something mega at 10, 15 million. Yeah. So it's quite hard to find an equestrian buyer at a certain level. Then you add on its grade 2 listed. Then you add on its 2.5 million. And all these things. Then you add on it needs modernising. It's got a swimming pool that was installed 30 years ago, outdoor. So they are hard to sell. So for me, it was about keeping the client as it is with all of us. It's about keeping the client as happy as you can for as long as you can, isn't it? And we did actually agree selling it last year. And the guy pulled out at the last minute because they didn't have planning permission. It was against listed building consents from the work they'd done. So ultimately, it's a shame, but I kind of feel a bit freer now it's happened.
Yeah.
The one we've got the 2 million we've got 3 viewings on today is a new build on a lake. So give me that over
all
day long, mate.
Yeah.
And then the other one we lost is a tricky one, really. We sold it during the COVID market to this guy for a really good price. It flew. He gave it to us to sell because he bought one offers before he sold this one. Gave it to us to sell. It went really, really well. Basically, we had a sale agreed on that as well straight away that fell through. It hasn't resold. We've changed the price. He needs to drop the price again, probably quite significantly, and therefore wants to do it with a cheap agent. You know, we all know how that'll end, but nevertheless. But again, that ended well. He came in for his key yesterday and he said, it won't be the last time we meet, Ian. All the best. I've been very impressed. And you just think, you just got to take out the chin, haven't you? You know you've done a good job and move on. And I made sure yesterday when he came in the office, I was in the back office, I made sure that I went and spoke to him in front of the team.
Yeah.
So the team could see that how I was being with him. You know, I didn't like hide away from it. And I think that was important for the team to see.
Yeah.
So
100%.
It comes to us all, you know.
I think you've got, when you terminate a relationship or a relationship is terminated, you know, how you leave it, you know, can leave a long lasting impression. And I have some in this. Go on, mate. Go on.
Sorry, well, I was just going to say when these two asked him to take it off, I took it off straight away. I fight it initially. Obviously, I try and get them.
Well, you want to keep it, don't you?
Yeah, but I didn't. When we don't have a contract period, so I just took it off immediately. And I think there's a lot of power in that. You know, you cut it off, you move on straight away. I'm not hanging out trying to hold on to people that don't want to work with us. I've got plenty of people that do.
Yeah.
JK, can I just say, your initial question was about grade 2 listed, and I think that grade 2 listed can be good. You know, if you've got something at like 1 to 1.5 mil, say, that's grade 2 listed, it's already got a large extended kitchen.
Yeah.
It's already got 2 en-suites or 1 ensuite.
Yeah.
And
if it's done,
there aren't too many restrictions to it, then I find it's hardly a hindrance at all.
Correct.
Really.
Yeah, I agree.
We sold one last year. We put it on at 1.5. I think it got 1.52. And that was grade 2 listed, but it already had the modern spaces as it was.
Yeah, that's the thing. When somebody else has taken it on board, I think when buyers look at it and they know they need to add a huge kitchen extension, they know they need to add another bathroom, they know they need to extend it. They're already thinking, "Am I going to get it through planning?" And B, it's going to cost me more to do it as a result as well. I've got a really lovely place, a grade 2 listed place. It's thatched as well. It's got a brand new thatch. It's got. I mean, everything's been done. It's amazing, but no one wants to buy it. It was on with somebody else. It was on with somebody else at 1.1, and then it came down to 950 with me originally. It's now 9. We're getting viewings. No fucker wants to buy it
because of the thatch.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But it's such a great house. I don't understand why someone doesn't want to buy it.
No.
What's up, Diet Coke? Why are you laughing?
Because of the thatch, I would imagine.
What?
Probably because of the thatch. Is it? What's the thatch like?
Huh? What's on the roof,
full
mate?
Of birds.
I know, but did you say it had been replaced?
Yeah, brand new.
It's only burnt down twice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh dear.
But I just think though, like if you're listening to this and you're selling homes like this, I think you need to be aware of what you take on, but B, even more important, A, get an upfront fee, and B, make sure you're getting 2+%, because it's not going to be a straightforward sale. It's probably going to be with you. Like Ian just said, the one that's just walked has been with him for 18 months. You know, if you've had an upfront fee, it still hurts. You're still making a loss. But
what I take out, JK, what I take out of that sort of thing is I'm proud of myself that I've kept it for 18 months. You know what I mean? Because we're not Savills, we're not Jackson Stops. Obviously, they've got these massive brands that people think they should definitely be with. So if you can list a house like that, and I bust my balls to get in and list it, to keep hold of it for that long. And she's recommended this to loads of people as well. And just by having that house listed on your website, it's given us other ones at that level, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's gravitas, isn't it? People look at your website. It goes down to how do you look, lads? When someone lands on your website and they can't get past £1 million on the first page. Yeah. If someone's got a house at 1-2 million, they think they're in the right place, and they trust you. It's not like they land on your website and you've got terraces at 150 grand.
No.
Are these the guys? Are they going to know what they're doing?
And I wrote her a thank you as well. Yesterday, I wrote a thank you card just to say thank you for the opportunity. All the best. It was a career highlight for me, marketing it. Because you want to end it really well, don't you? Because she'll probably move to Savills and she'll probably get a shit service. And she actually said in her reply, I might come back with my tail between my legs in 9 months if it's not gone. So you never know, do you, what's going to happen in the future?
I think the way you've handled it though as well, mate, is key there, because that's something that I just want to unpack, because you're going to lose stuff, especially at this time of year. Everybody's targeting your stock. I've had plenty of conversations over the last sort of 6 to 8 weeks about how the stock has been targeted. People saying they've got buyers, and it's the usual thing. As you know, we've got a collaboration clause in our contracts that allows other people to introduce parties, and it's a good way of holding on to instructions. But sometimes, as you've kind of alluding to, it's sometimes better to just let them go. And your ego will always be banging on the door saying, "Don't let it go." And what if it sells with someone else in the first week? There's always that chance. You just don't know, and you've just got to take it on the chin. And move on, and understand that as long as you've got like all the processes in place that we always talk about, consistent lead generation strategies, being out there on socials, still selling a great number of homes, and more importantly, selling them at the right fees, it'll go away. It'll leave your mind.
It will. Also, Dave, because where we've come from, the three of us, in terms of selling lower end to now, after it happened as well this week, I've been quite sort of philosophical about it, thinking I'm so happy to be selling the houses that we sell and marketing the houses that we market now, that just having the chance of someone giving me a £2.5 million house that we did sell, and that we have had other business off the back of. I'm in such a happy place selling those sort of houses. So you're going to lose the odd one. It is what it is. Handle it correctly, like you say. Leave on good terms.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think the important thing is that you've been keeping them up to date, and the service is testament to how long they've stayed with you. Yeah. We are seeing things pick up. Say, interestingly, we are getting some pressure as well. It's interesting you say you've had some withdrawal. We're getting some pressure from some of our clients. Like, what else can you do? And it's like, well, having a conversation with them. If it's not happening at $1 million, if a buyer's coming to you at 950, are you taking it? Well, yeah, I am. Okay, well, we need to change the price then, don't we? Well, I don't want to change the price. And it's like, well, help me help you sometimes.
God, mate.
So we're going to do, like Dave, you did a social media relaunch for one of your houses recently. I remember you saying on one of the previous pods about the house where you did the semi, and you went back to it. Yeah. And you told the local groups, look, if you're looking for detached, you're probably not going to see it. So I was speaking to Becca yesterday, and we're thinking about doing a sort of more candid social media behind the scenes of a house. I think we're going to call it like Beyond the Listing. There's like an idea that we had, and we were just it's going to be a bit more candid. So like you did with holding the microphone, and just sort of saying things that you might not see on the Rightmove listing, and the reason you might have dismissed this house. So for example, one we're going to go to, it's got 2.5 acres, and it's got a barn, but you don't really see the barn on the listing because they didn't want us to photograph inside. And I just thought we could kind of explain its situation and where it is, and sort of show people in a candid way that it's nice and private, show people the lake in a bit more detail, show people the outside barn and the possibilities, that kind of thing. Then the other thing, another house we've got where we're not getting a lot of interest, taking them into the pool, taking them around the grounds a little bit. You never know, do you? It's just, to be honest, I'm not sure whether it's actually going to sell the house. I think it's a pricing issue, but it just shows the client that you're kind of going out of the box to try and generate some interest, and you never know, you might follow up another lead. The other thing that we're doing at the moment is quite a lot of buyer letters. Like you, Dave, we're a little bit behind on the quarterly updates. Ours are taking a touch longer because obviously we've got our main content that we've put together, but I've also got to talk about the Universal Studios that they've started building. The planning permission was officially passed through Parliament, so I've got a bit to mention about that. That's getting us some good local engagement from people, and obviously bearing in mind I've got the lettings business that I've started this year. We've had a few meetings with people already that are looking to invest in the area, so that's going to be kind of like a almost like a buying agent thing. So we've said to them, look, if you buy it and you rent it with somebody else, then it'll be 1% plus VAT at the purchase price. But if you buy it and commit to letting it with us, then we'll do it free of charge.
Nice.
So it's just a nice way of bringing new landlords into your sphere, I guess. So yeah, we're doing a bit on that. Buyer letters we're doing quite a lot of. I've had you always get some interesting responses, don't you, on the buyer letters. Had one guy the other day that it's hilarious. He responded and said, "Yeah, hi, got your letter about Stephen and Susie that are looking to buy in the area. I'd be looking at the top end of their budget." And I was like, "Okay, brilliant. What's your address?" So I've put it in, and it failed to sell 3 years ago at 1.3, and it needs everything doing to it, like it which is fine. But my clients, it specifically says on the buyer letter, around £1 million mark if it needs work. So I spoke to him and said, look, I saw it was obviously online 3 years ago. Have you done much to it? Oh, no, it's exactly the same. And, we'd be looking for around 1.5. I said, I don't think so. It's not going to work. It's not going to run. So
yeah,
it's a response, and not every business. I think I wrote in the Facebook group this week, because we've obviously been getting quite a bit of engagement on some of the topics in the private Facebook group. Not all business is good business. There'd be plenty that would say, "Oh, would you like a free no obligation valuation?" Go around, sign it up, get it on at 1.5. I mean, there's one this week, so I'm working with some buyers as well at the moment that have got me on a retained purchase, and he rang me up and said, "Oh, I've seen this one. What do you think to it? It's perfect in terms of location." I said, "Well, it's great, but unfortunately, Steve, they bought that house 2 years ago for 950. Arguably, it's in worse condition, and it's now up at 1.2. Said he viewed it. He viewed the house. I went and viewed it. And he goes, "Well, I'm actually thinking about making an offer on it." And I said, "Steve, no."
I've had a few quite recently where you are almost having to go back in time to show them that what they paid wasn't the right number.
Yeah.
And I can relate to this myself personally, because I did the same. I needed to move in 2022, and I know I paid too much for my house, probably around 30,000, but I had to pay 30,000 more because 3 other people wanted the house, and it was the right house for us at the time. So when I come to sell, which may well be in the next couple of years, I'm going to probably have to factor that in, that I've paid a little bit too much, and it just depends where the market is. This is why the data that we demonstrate is so powerful, by the way, because you can show that change over time. I was with a client last night. They're in a really nice detached house, quite difficult to value, to be honest. It's a very, very unique home in the sense that there's nothing like them really within 2 or 3 miles. So you are looking heavily at price per square foot and stuff like that. But they've had some ridiculous valuations, and I was the only one that really looked at all the data. And I just find, I mean, you obviously get this every day, but people do just go in and tell people what they think they want to hear. And having spent a good couple of hours with them last night, their response was, "Well, we're not looking for top dollar. We are, he's a retired GP. She's a retired eye surgeon. They retired ages ago. They've got this beautiful house that they've no mortgage on, and they've got a camper van and travel all over Europe. They're not going to sit there and hold out for an extra 200 or 300 grand. They've just totally misread their circumstances, and they were quite grateful of the fact that we said we need to be keen with this in this market and demonstrate what the market's doing." So my valuation was around 250,000 lower, but accurate. It's bonkers, some of the stuff that's going on out there. But I do feel that 2026 and 2027 probably is going to be one where going back in time and showing what people paid will be quite relevant, because a lot of them will be in these 5-year fixed term deals that they're coming out of and potentially not able to afford the new rate because they're still on like 1.2% or whatever it is, and they're now moving on to 4%. And if that is the case, then I would urge anybody just to look at the data from when they bought it and just show them what the market was actually doing then and what it's doing now, because it isn't an exact science. There is a house that I went to. There's a house that I went to, and it was about 12 months ago. It had been on the market at the time for 12 months with Purple Bricks, and it's since been on with 3 or 4 other agents. They've never given me a shot on it. And the reason they've not given me a shot on it is because my valuation is around 900,000 and they're trying to get 1.1 million for it. Mm-hmm. The lowest they've dropped to is 1 million. They've not done any work to it. And it was exactly the same sort of thing. I was demonstrating to them that when they bought it, they've probably paid between 5 and 10% too much for the house. Peak 2021. And we need to now take that off and then apply the inflation. And it takes them probably to what they paid for it. But of course, they want the stamp duty back. They want all the legals back. Then It's a separation, so it's a bit ugly. So when she said that I'm too expensive and she doesn't want to go with me, I was quite delighted about that. But this still on the market to this day.
Not all business is a good business, though, is it?
Yeah, exactly. But I do think that this could be a year for that. So
we've got that as well. I think maybe that's something we should unpack as well. Is that we've had quite a few offers recently, and managing expectations between what the buyers are prepared to pay and what the sellers are prepared to accept. We've got a few at the moment that are 25, 30k apart, and it's just that the bridge too far for either party to come up or the other to come down. It has been. We've got some that are on the table, and it's just for the sake of 30 grand, a deal could be done. And it's just, I do think the market is, I want to say on the way up. I don't mean prices rocketing, but you can definitely feel the sentiment in the market is changing because especially in the mid to upper end, and mortgage rates are coming down. There's a view that the BOE are going to possibly chop the base rate twice by 0.25% this year, which the market's already starting to price into the mortgage market. I'm looking. I need to remortgage in April, so I've already started looking because you can look. They recommend you should speak to an advisor maybe 9 months before, but speak to your advisor 6 months before, so you can at least get a mortgage offer in place, so you can lock something in. And I've just been watching the rates come down slowly, and it's interesting to see where we were a year ago. And these affect people. If you're borrowing 100 grand, it's probably not going to make that much difference, to be honest. But when you're in the mid to upper end of the market, a lot of these people that are buying are taking £500,000, 6, 7, 800,000 pounds, sometimes £1 million mortgages, and those percentage changes can make huge difference to their affordability. Because a lot of these people, though they're buying big houses, sometimes they aren't cash rich. They haven't got loads of money in the bank. They're not, there's not huge amounts of liquidity to buy. They've got 15, 20%, which, is still 200-300 grand on a £1 million house. A little bit more than that, but by the time you take into account your stamp duty, there's still 200 grand's worth of deposit. But to leverage 800k, as you often say, Dave, when we go through the data loft valuations, when they leverage it in 20 to 22 at 0.1% base rate, and the 1 to 2% mortgages that are available there compared to how much they are today, they're not insignificant amount of money. 33% worth of aggregate inflation, like private school fees with VAT. Everyone's been hit really hard, and the affordability's been hit hard. And it's trying to explain that to people, that trying to get sellers sometimes to get real. And I went to one the other day. They've been on the market with another agent at 520 for 4 months, I think, 5 months. And they'd redone the carpets in the house. And I knew the second I walked through the door that it wasn't going to be a JK instruction. I'd seen it online, and I thought, maybe we can add some value. Maybe they could, they'd be up for staging, a bit of staging, styling, because the house is empty. But as soon as I saw that, because he said, I've got new carpets. As soon as I saw what was on the stairs, which was the new carpets, I knew already that they weren't going to instruct us. And I was proven right when we went into the kitchen, and I said, look, we could probably get the house staged for probably 4.5 grand, because it's a big house. Like, it's not a lot of money. It's like a £500,000 house, but it's it's worth doing. I think for 4 or 5 grand, he would probably get his money and some more. But the problem is, it looks like somebody's rented it out and just put some cheap carpets in it, and it just feels a bit unloved. So when we were having a conversation about fee in the kitchen, and he just said, "Oh, you double what the current agent's charging me." I said, "Well, with respect, you're not paying them anything at the moment because they're not getting the job done." I said, all they've done is take photos of what you've got, effectively put it on Rightmove, and hope for the best. What really annoys me was that I didn't really want it. I said, look, to be honest, if I'm being completely honest with you, if you're not going to take this approach, we're probably not the agent for you. So you're probably better off just reducing the price with the current agent and hoping for the best. I said, because if you're just worried about how much it's going to cost you to sell, maybe your strategy, which doesn't sound like there is one, is just reduce the price until someone buys it. But the reason I'm here, and you said yourself, was that we made you pay another 10 grand over what you were prepared to pay for it. I said, but then equally, you're quibbling what we're going to charge you. I said, so look, really appreciate you getting us out. I hope it all works out for you, but that might be the best strategy for you moving forward. And we left on good terms, but there's something quite powerful being able to, not having to. I remember working at Countrywide, and I would have had to come back with that listing. And the way that it would have been ingrained to you would have been tell him you'll get 520, tell him you've got buyers on the books, sign him in for 12 weeks, sign him up at 2.5%, and we'll work on him. And in 8 weeks' time, they've reduced to 500 and they're locked in at a high fee and they can't go anywhere. And that's just what corporate agency was back in the day. But I don't agree with that. I'd rather just crack on and sell a 1.75 million pound manor house at 2% instead.
Yeah.
Give them my energy. People that value you.
I agree. I completely agree. Yes, same as the one we just lost. The big one that just changed. You need to have plenty of the stock that you want to sell, don't you? You're going to have a few outliers, but focus on the ones that really want you, the ones that will sell, and you can add loads of value to, and they'll be really impressed with you. They'll pay the fee. They're the ones to focus on.
Well, I've got one on Monday. I'm going to, and it's not sexy, to be honest. And if you said to me, would I really, really want it? Not really, but the client's nice. It's saleable. She'll listen to me. Offers over 550, which is what it needs to be.
A good board.
No one's really going to see it because it's rural, but it's got field views. It needs modernisation. It's old, but it's 550 at 2%. And as I quite often say, they're the gold dust instructions, lads. And
that's a good saying. Yeah,
they are the gold dust. But again, it comes down to those things, doesn't it? Is it a good fee? Is it going to sell? Is it a good board? Is the vendor motivated? Well, they are motivated. It is a good fee. And is it going to sell? Yes, absolutely. So it's not. Sometimes I think people say, "Oh, I had a conversation with an agent the other week, and they were like, oh, we're not like you guys. We don't just sell the big houses, the 1.5-2 million pounders." But that's not what we're just about. It's about getting 2% in the mid-market as well. And those instructions make such a difference, because if you've got your fingers in the pies at the upper end of the market, great. And like today, I'm going to wrap that one at 1.75. Happy days. But also equally, if you bang a couple of 600 granders in there at 2%, there's 12 grand. It's not insignificant.
We've just put one on. We put a few gold dust ones on since Christmas. One shiny example is one at 650 grand, which is a character cottage in a beautiful location, and it's got 20 viewings on it.
Is it a barn conversion?
No, it's not a barn conversion. It's just a house. But I just think I love those so much, because that's 13 grand in the bank plus the marketing fee, 750. So it's 14 grand in the bank, really. Done. And if you can have a load of those churning, which are nice quality, great for the brand, and then you've got a really also reasonable selection over 1 million, it's a fantastic place to be. Like
I say, you're spreading your bets, aren't you?
You're spreading your bets, yeah. You don't want just higher end. You
especially not when you've got the budget hanging over your head. times like that when the budget's happening. I mean, admittedly, we didn't have the greatest November and December, but the one we sold in December wasn't affected by the budget. Like it was a complete, it's that mid-market is totally unaffected by the budget. But when events like that happen and things go on pause, it's nice to be able to know that you can spread your bets.
Yeah, hugely important that.
So I think that's probably a good place to call it for this week, unless anyone else has got anything else to add. Dave, I know you're keen to have another Diet Coke. You've only had 3 so far this morning. Yeah,
I do need a caffeine hit. So as I don't drink coffee, that is my caffeine hits. And I've not had 3, so shut up. Shut it.
So he is ratty. Anyway. Right, well, that seems like a good place to call it for this week. As always, gents, it's been a pleasure. And we will see you all next week.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys.